comrades, Chapman makes the decision to climb out of the bunker and begin firing in multiple directions, as can be seen in the inset. Suffering from as many as a dozen wounds, Chapman is in fact already in the process of dying.
Yeah.
As he fights, the helicopter is struck by a rocket-propelled grenade and makes a remarkable controlled crash just below Chapman and the summit. Chapman, now off-screen, continues to cover his comrades as they pour out of the stricken helicopter. Some of them are fatally shot as they exit.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be checking out the first Medal of Honor ever recorded. This was recommended to me quite a few times over the last month or so. Quite a few of you guys have told me to check it out, so of course I'm more than happy to do so. Now I don't actually know the full context, events surrounding this incident, I guess you could call it, right? Besides the fact, of course, that it's a Medal of Honor recipient and I don't believe he survives, unfortunately, unfortunate to say. That being said, I don't know much about this event. It's obviously an American combat deployment, an American combat op. Me being a Canadian, don't really have too much context about it. It's not something that's really talked about too much over here. I've seen some clips from this, I want to say, years and years ago, but I don't really want to misspeak on anything. I don't really want to, you know, obviously talk about it beforehand because I don't know the full situation. I don't know the full context, and I obviously don't want to misspeak and, you know, obviously put wrong information out there, right? So I don't really have too much more to say about this one. It's obviously a lot more of a serious video. I might be pausing throughout, probably will pause throughout a few times, just to talk about it, give my thoughts kind of thing. But other than that, guys, yeah, I don't really have too much more to say about this one going in. If you guys enjoy the reactions, please do hit that like button, subscribe for more content from me, leave your recommendations down in the comments below. Join our Discord, of course, if you're not in it, guys. Without any further delay, I say we leave a like up here. Captions should already be on. We're at 1080p there, full screen. And without any further delay, let's check out the first Medal of Honor recipient ever recorded.
Chapman, a U.S. Air Force combat controller, and the SEALs are attempting to rescue their lost teammate.
2002, damn.
Controller and the SEALs are...
Sorry to pause right off the bat here, guys. I thought this happened in like 2005, 2010, like in that time period, right? This is like right at the start of the war in Afghanistan. Holy shit. And I did know it was from Afghanistan too. I did know that. But 2002, holy shit. I had no idea.
Attempting to rescue their lost teammate. You'll watch Chapman's heroic actions as he saves the lives of his entire SEAL team.
Captured by a CIA Predator drone.
A quick reaction force, earning America's highest award, the Medal of Honor. Chapman and the SEALs exfil their MH-47 helicopter. John is the second individual to exit and immediately moves in the direction of the summit. He can be seen moving off to the right of the screen, alone. The team is taking heavy fire from every direction, as indicated by the arrows, as Chapman begins engaging targets. You can see spent cartridges ejecting from his M4. Chapman then begins closing with the enemy, forcing his way upslope in knee and thigh-deep snow.
You can see right off the bat, right? Let me just replay that real quick. I'm coming off the helo there.
Exfil their MH-47 helicopter.
They exfil.
John is the second individual to exit and immediately moves in the direction of the summit.
You can tell they start taking fire immediately because this guy drops. He immediately goes prone, right? So you can tell they're taking fire from multiple locations potentially, right? The arrows dictated from the south, northeast, and west. This seems like a really shitty combat drop, I have to say. Garbage situation to be in, but obviously the section there looks like 6 guys, right? Well, 5 of them go and huddle up, right? Okay, we need to make a plan. Where's the enemy fire coming from? We need to go eliminate that. But John here, you can see he immediately exfils, knows where the fire is coming from, right? He's immediately returning fire. It looks like he's already advancing on that position. That's kind of crazy to see, right? He's not taking cover. He's not going prone. He's immediately returning fire, trying to win that firefight. Holy shit. That takes balls, man. That takes balls. Because again, like if you're under fire, right, you don't, and you especially just landing, you don't exactly know where every enemy combatant is, where every source of fire is coming from. Like, fuck, to just be able to stand up there and engage the first enemy muzzle flashes you see. Take some balls, man. Take some balls.
He can be seen moving off to the right of the screen, alone. The team is taking heavy fire from every direction, as indicated by the arrows, as Chapman begins engaging targets.
Yeah, he's the only one effectively returning fire right now.
Ejecting from his M4.
From what I can see. And of course, right, and I'm sorry to pause here again so quickly, guys. The terrain too, right? This is obviously from 2002 on a Predator drone. So the terrain is hard to make out too. I know they said they're going uphill, right? So I'm assuming the way he's going, like north here, is uphill, if I had to assume. And again, in the snow, and it looks like the ground is covered in snow. Deep snow. That's not easy to move in, man. Again, if you've ever tried to walk in 3-4 feet of snow before, it's not fucking easy. It's tiring, and you sink with it, right? And to see him again take that initiative, and just go straight up there, right? Holy shit!
By the arrows as Chapman begins engaging targets. You can see spent cartridges ejecting from his M4. Chapman then begins closing with the enemy, forcing his way upslope in knee and thigh-deep snow.
Yeah.
He is constantly under fire as he does this. Chapman's team leader begins to close on Chapman, following his trail through the snow. The dark mass above Chapman is a fortified bunker containing 2 enemy fighters, each armed with AK-47s, who are firing down on the team in the darkness. This bunker will come to be known as Bunker Number 1.
Okay. So wow, so that's an enemy position right there. Look how close. Sorry, let me just go back to like that exfil initially there.
Immediately moves in the direction alone.
They're right there. They exfilled right in front of that enemy fighting position. That is fucked, man. That is so fucked. Again, it's hard to gauge distance just from this camera angle, right? But that can't be more than 50, 100 feet, maybe. It's extremely hard to tell, but Jesus Christ, like that is right there. If there's enemy combatants in here firing down on them, my God. And he's just sitting there. Looks like he's standing right in this frame. Just returning fire, man. Holy shit. Wow. But his team leader tries to follow him there, and that's risky. 6-man team. Now, of course, these guys are a lot more elite, I think, than your average rank and file troop, of course, just given the nature of what they're doing, their Air Force, right? And I died personally, right? In Canada, the Air Force doesn't really conduct ground attacks like this, right? Or exertions like this. So it's kind of like his squad leader going up behind him there. It's very, very risky to me, but he's probably trying to get him, right? Trying to catch up with them, right? Not trying to let him take this position alone, because what the fuck, you know? But very risky as that team lead bounding up like that, right? Trying to take that position on with you two. If you die, right, or if you get injured, your men need leadership, right? I'm sure there's a chain of command, obviously, in order for that type of thing, if that does happen, but still.
Of the tree and Bunker 1 is another gray mass. This is a rock outcropping that came to be called the Boulder. Between Bunker 1 and this boulder can be seen the body of slain SEAL Neil Roberts, the man Chapman and the others are attempting to recover.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize that this was a recovery mission, because otherwise I was like, why would they drop here? Fuck, man. Yeah, so they're just trying to get their boy out of there. Okay, that's super sad, man. That's super, super sad. Like what? Obviously, you don't want to leave your boys behind. I don't know the exact circumstances of how he got there. But Jesus Christ, like that's shitty. Right behind that fortified position too. Man.
Are attempting to recover. Chapman, still alone and closest to the enemy, pauses to engage targets as his team leader follows him, but never actually catches up with him.
Oh.
Chapman, on his own, now makes the decision to charge directly into the enemy bunker, despite withering point-blank fire.
Have to do that sometimes,
Chapman,
yeah.
now literally on top of the enemy, engages the 2 combatants and kills them, saving the lives of the remaining SEALs. He does this from a distance of no more than 10 feet.
So, and I'm just going to pause right there, and you can see him move up there, right?
Despite withering point-blank fire.
These combatants in here are probably firing on his section members down here, down this hill, right? You can see Looks like it's an extremely good arc meant to hit those boys down there, right? Meant to hit people going uphill. They flanked kind of around it. I think this right here is a gap. I think that's where they're firing from, because it looks like that's what he turns the corner and he kind of just lazes in there. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the gap in the fortified, in that fortification there. And they're probably firing down on his boys there. He probably noticed that, and he probably just immediately saw they were firing on his boys. This is my fucking chance. I got to go get up there now. Second you get up there now, you're on full auto. You just sweep that fucking fighting position, and then you move up, right? You claim it as your own. You did a good job there.
Chapman, now literally on top of the enemy, engages the two
It's amazing awareness.
and kills them, saving the lives of the remaining SEALs. He does this from a distance of no more than 10 feet. These actions by themselves earned him his first Medal of Honor. He then climbs in and takes control of the bunker. Having cleared the immediate threat, Chapman is then joined by his team leader in Bunker 1. You can then see Chapman and his team leader engaging the next bunker, known as Bunker 2, which is situated to the left edge of the screen. This bunker, manned by a handful of Chechen and Uzbek fighters, also contains a heavy PKM machine gun, hand grenades, and rocket-propelled grenades. John Chapman is shot twice at this time in the torso and collapses, incapacitated.
Fuck. He collapses, incapacitated, so his boys gotta carry on without him there. Obviously we're in Afghanistan here. I assumed the enemy combatants here in this case were Taliban, but it looks like we got a lot of Chechens and stuff as well. And that happened, right? You had a lot of people going into country, obviously for one reason or another, be that religious beliefs, be that political, monetary, you know what I'm saying? You had all types of reasons, right? For people fighting on the Taliban side, right? Or the, I guess, Al-Qaeda's side in this case, right? And they're armed up, right? Like, that's not just like they're a couple guys with AKs. Like, no, they got heavy machine guns. They have RPGs. They have equipment. Like, these guys are, I'm not sure how trained they are. I'm not sure how motivated they are as a fighting force. But equipment alone on the defensive can win you the day. So it's unfortunate to say, but let's see how this goes, right? And John gets injured here. His team leader never catches up to him, so I don't even think his team leader knows where he is at this point, where he goes down.
Propelled grenades. John Chapman is shot twice at this time in the torso and collapses, incapacitated. You are now looking at a new angle, and at the left of the screen can be seen the two-man fire team and team leader on top of the boulder.
Are they engaging right here?
Just below it is Bunker 1 with the mortally wounded Chapman. One SEAL can be seen firing his modified M60 machine gun from the hip into Bunker 2 on the right side of the screen.
Oh my God.
Until he is struck by grenade shrapnel and tumbles 10 feet off the top of the boulder.
Oh shit.
At the feet of his team leader, thus setting off a chain of events that would lead to the SEALs abandoning Chapman on the summit.
That's brutal, but yeah, so fighting position 1 and 2 are really fucking close to each other. That's brutal. So they get onto that boulder, they're trying to lay suppressing fire onto that second fighting position where there's not 2, but a handful of enemy fighters now. So I'm assuming that would mean 4 to 5, something like that, right? Maybe around there. And obviously they're putting up a fight. The M60 gunners trying to get some suppressing fire onto there. Eats grenade shrapnel, falls, right? Now your M60 gunner is down, right? That's your machine gun. That's, again, 60% of your firepower as a section right there. Down the drain. I don't know how many they're rocking here. I know average section in Canada, right? Typically we try to have 2 C9s per section, right? But in this case, right, they're a 6-man SEAL team, so a 6-man team, so they probably only got the one guy, and with him down, that firefight is now untenable. You cannot lay down enough suppressing fire to now win that firefight, especially now with 2 men injured, technically 3 if you want to count the boy they came here for, you know?
The wounded SEAL and the team leader can be seen conferring about his injuries. Moments later, the SEALs decide to retreat from the summit because their position is untenable in the face of continued massive enemy firepower.
Yeah.
They can be seen moving toward the right side of the screen and passing the body of Neil Roberts, Unfortunately, the SEALs do not pass John Chapman, who is above them and inside Bunker 1.
So they obviously see their injured boy they came here for, but they don't see John, right? Again, he went up there, he took that position, got injured, probably fell, he's unconscious. They don't know where he is, right? Obviously, you're trying to leave anyone behind, but what do you do, right? In the face of overwhelming enemy firepower, you still have boys alive with you for sure that are talking to you, communicating you as a squad leader, right? I think the squad leader, you know, obviously under the circumstances, he's doing the best he can here, right? He's thinking about the boys he still has with him and how he can get them out of there, right? Like, can't blame him here.
This angle shows 3 SEALs in a triangle. The larger black heat signature is a smoke grenade. Just to its left is a donkey and dead Al-Qaeda fighter killed by Chapman. The steepness of the mountain can be seen as the SEALs begin to slide down the near sheer face.
Wow. And that kind of puts it into perspective better too, right? Like, again, it's so hard to visualize just the conditions that they're fighting in here. Obviously, you can see very limitedly, you know what I mean, by the drone footage here, right? Of course, but unless you're actually there on the ground, I think this would be extremely hard to know the circumstances and the conditions, right? Like, that's the thing, right? It's easy enough to watch back and in hindsight, oh, they should have done this, they should have done that. But unless you're there, man, you don't know, right? Like, you don't know, right? They're just trying to smoke and get out of there.
The team leader, desperate for relief and now with 2 wounded teammates, asks for uncontrolled airstrikes from an orbiting Air Force AC-130 gunship.
Oh, shit.
The impacts you see are from 105mm howitzer rounds being fired onto the ridgetop in order to save the remaining SEALs. Because neither the SEALs nor gunship know Chapman is alive, he is experiencing these detonations from his position.
Jeez.
At approximately 5:20 in the morning, Chapman recovers and begins to engage the enemy. Bunker 1 is on the right side center of the screen and Bunker 2 to the left near the screen center. It will never be known what caused his incapacitation and recovery. Of the 2 rounds that originally wounded him, at least 1 was mortal, and at this time he is experiencing severe blood loss and shock. Despite that, he begins his one-man stand against 24 enemy combatants. During this time, Chapman initiates a series of radio calls, many of which are heard by a fellow combat controller and teammate of his and Delta Force operators on a nearby summit. Despite this combat controller's replies, Chapman never acknowledges whether because of damage to his equipment or himself will never be known. This new angle and
I'm sorry guys, that's sad. That's sad. You know what I mean? Like, that's you know, he came to, obviously, he doesn't know the situation at this point, right? He doesn't know what his fellow SEALs and his team leader, right, that they pulled out of there. I'm sure he can assume by the fact that AC-130 is obviously hammering the area, right? But he doesn't know the circumstances. He goes to try to make radio calls, right? And his friends, right, his teammates can literally hear him. They know he's still up there, right? Fuck. You know, he's not dead, you know, and it sucks to say, but in situations like that, you know, you almost, again, as bad as this is going to sound, right, you almost wish they were dead, because it's like, I just left my friend there, you know what I mean? My friend is trapped there, and now we just left him, you know, I can't imagine. Fucking play on your mind, man. That's super sad. That's super sad. Not their fault, obviously blameless, but I can only imagine what that would do to you. You know what I mean? Like, I just left my friend up there. You know what I mean? That's super sad, dude. Wow. And he tries to make those calls. He doesn't respond. Again, I'd have to assume probably his radio equipment is probably damaged at that point. Or again, just due to circumstances, and we're not in his position, right? We don't know how fucking loud it is. We don't know, well, obviously with his blood loss, right, how cognitive he is. That's fucking super sad, guys. Wow. Making me tear up a little bit there.
For himself will never be known. This new angle and footage shows Chapman at the top, identified by the green dot under the tree at Bunker 1. The lower center of the screen shows the first enemy fighter who is about to charge Chapman in the hopes of killing the American.
Jesus.
The timestamp at the bottom shows it is now 6:05 in the morning and fully light. He's been fighting alone now for 40 plus minutes and has received more gunshot and shrapnel wounds as a result of the fierce combat.
Oh my God.
This scene shows the second of several enemy charges. In this stunning display of determination and courage, Chapman can be seen fighting hand to hand with the fighter. In the larger screen display can be seen additional enemy moving on to the summit. But right now, John Chapman is fighting for his life. 6 minutes later, in this new shot,
That's brutal. Yeah, and they're like the enemy combatants, right? Shitty, right? But they know that his team pulled out of there, right? They know they saw them smoke. They knew they were fucking him up. They fled, right? They retreated. They know they have him outnumbered, right? They know there's probably only one or two guys left up there. They probably were surprised that he's even still alive, right? As are his teammates probably, right? But yeah, no, like they're just gonna start closing with him here now. And again, unless you got more boys, he's already injured. I'm surprised he's even, and like this is fucked up, but I'm surprised he's even able to fight hand to hand at this point with how many times he's been wounded and with the amount of blood he's more than likely lost, right? Like adrenaline is a hell of a thing, but holy fuck, that's impressive, man. It's just, again, this is super sad because he's given it his all. You know what I mean? Like he's literally trying his best here.
Chapman is fighting for his life. 6 minutes later, in this new shot, Chapman can hear another helicopter approaching the summit. He is in the bottom center of the screen underneath the tree and can be seen in the magnified inset box as he begins his desperate final stand to save the lives of the 18 men on the helicopter. The red dots are enemy fighters. John begins engaging the enemy in multiple directions and is rapidly approaching the last of his ammunition. The helicopter contains a quick reaction force comprised of rangers, pararescuemen, and another combat controller. It is now 6:13 and the helicopter is short final. The enemy is desperately trying to displace Chapman so they can put heavy weapons or rocket-propelled grenades in Bunker 1 while simultaneously engaging the helicopter.
Okay.
With the choice to save his life or the lives of his unknown comrades, Chapman makes the decision to climb out of the bunker and begin firing in multiple directions as can be seen in the inset.
Oh man, yeah, this is gonna make me fucking probably tear up a little bit, guys. I'm sorry. Like it's just the case of, so his team, right? Like they're sending boys in to try to get him out, right? Like they know he's there. They can hear him. They're trying to send guys in there to get him out. And he knows they're coming. He knows they have firing positions. They got arcs set up. He knows they have RPGs, right? More than likely. He's been fighting them for the last hour here. He probably has experienced all of that to some degree, right? And he knows the second they land, they're going to get lit the fuck up. All those boys that try to exfil that helo are going to get lit the fuck up. So what's he trying to do right now? He's trying to draw every ounce of enemy fire to him. And it's fuck, it's brutal to say, guys, but he probably already knows he's spent at this point. You know what I mean? Like he's probably very close to death. He's running out of ammo. He's just trying to give his boys coming in a chance. And he's trying to do that by just giving them a couple, just give them some time. Maybe he can eliminate another enemy or two, a few more, you know what I'm saying? But at minimum, he can draw their fire away from that helo. That's wow. That's brutal, man.
While simultaneously engaging the helicopter. With the choice to save his life or the lives of his unknown comrades, Chapman makes the decision to climb out of the bunker and begin firing in multiple directions as can be seen in the inset. Suffering from as many as a dozen wounds, Chapman is in fact already in the process of dying.
Yeah.
As he fights, the helicopter is struck by a rocket-propelled grenade and makes a remarkable controlled crash just below Chapman and the summit. Chapman, now off-screen, continues to cover his comrades as they pour out of the stricken helicopter. Some of them are fatally shot as they exit.
Man. Like, again, sorry, guys. It's it's that brutal case, like in Saving Private Ryan, for example, right? It's just like the enemy sniper scene, right? How many boys are you willing to lose to try to get one guy out of there? And obviously, the hope would be you're never going to leave a man behind, no matter what that means. No matter what that fucking means, you're never going to leave a man behind. These guys are going in here knowing they're going into the shit, right? But they have a man there that needs to get out. He's been fighting. He was left there. They're trying to do right by him. But holy shit, it's just, that's terrible, you know, because he, at this point, it sucks to say, he knows he's dead. He knows he's dead. He had to have, you know, especially with what he did there at the end, standing up from that position and trying to just make a move, right? And then these boys trying to come and save him, and they don't even get out of the fucking helicopter, and some of them are already dead. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking so sad, dude.
Stricken helicopter. Some of them are fatally shot as they exit. These images, with Chapman fighting the enemy at close quarter, are the last to show him alive and in this heroic act, thus qualifying for his second Medal of Honor. Ultimately, Chapman would expend all but the last few rounds of his ammunition, until, finally, after 16 bullet and shrapnel wounds, Chapman succumbs when he is shot through the heart.
Jesus.
We will never know his final thoughts or words, but what we do know is his decisions and actions single-handedly saved the lives of 23 comrades. For more information about John Chapman's amazing story and the details about this mission, visit danschillingbooks.com or your favorite book retailer to obtain a copy of the Chronicle of his life, Alone at Dawn.
Wow, guys. Holy shit. That one was heavy. You know what I mean? That one was heavy. You know, I don't really get emotional very often, guys. I'm usually pretty good on that type of stuff, but this was just fucking sad to see. You know what I mean? Obviously, they went in there with a pure purpose. They went in there to try to get their boy out. That's understandable. You know what I mean? But then it became, now other guys are going in to get him out, right? But given the circumstances, that first bunker he cleared, I think absolutely did save his initial team members' lives. Absolutely saved their lives. Because again, you can see in that video, right? Arc changes, right? And he makes that charge up there. They stop firing at him and his squad lead. They start firing back on the boys down the hill. And he immediately, split-second decision, rushes up there and takes him out, right? If he didn't do that right there, could you imagine how much of a fucking pain in the ass it would have been to dislodge those guys, and how many injuries or deaths would have occurred getting to that point even? And that's where he ended up standing for the majority of that time, right? Unfortunately. No, this is super, super powerful, and it just goes to show you, right? Like there are some guys out there that are built different. They'll, you know, they see their boys in danger. They know the risk. They know what this means. You know what I mean? They know what it means for them. And then they accept it, and they do their job. And when you accept it and you do your job, holy shit, incredible what can be done. It's just seemed like a great dude. Obviously he had a lot of care, a lot of love for his comrades there, and you know, it's super sad he had to pay the you know, the ultimate price there to you know, obviously to get his boys home there. But no, I thought this was a great video. I'm sorry again, guys. I don't oh, excuse me. Sorry again there. I'm a little bit quieter there. I'm a little bit don't really have too much more to say, you know, but it's just that's emotional, you know what I mean? That's hard shit. That's you always want a guy like that with you, you know what I mean? And even not in the military, but somebody that would always go out of their way to, you know, to do their best for you, to try to get you home, to make sure you're safe no matter what, you know. No, I think John Chapman there, I think he's a fucking hero. I think he, under extremely brutal circumstances, did absolutely the best he could. And I think his actions, again, yeah, 100% saved lives there on that day. again, just such a shame it had to end up the way it did, and shame they had to even be there in the first place, right? To try to get their KIA out of there, right? That's super sad, knowing the whole reason that instigated that anyway, right? But no, I thought this was a great video, guys. Obviously, there will be a link down in the description below. If you haven't seen this, haven't gave it some love, go do that right now. It definitely deserves it. This was uploaded by Dan Schilling Books, and there's obviously a book there by, I guess, Dan Schilling there. Alone at Dawn. That actually seems like a great book. I might actually look into picking that up. Might give it a read, because holy shit, you know. But yeah, either way, guys, this has been Centurion. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. I know I yapped a lot in this video, but you know, if you guys don't mind, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more content from me, leave your recommendations down in the comments below. Big thank you, of course, to all of our members. Join our Discord if you're not in it. Without any further delay, this has been Centurion, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, guys.